The White House was bombed again. Aliens have arrived on Earth. A woman eagerly hopes for an interstellar trip. However, in the next second... A few days earlier, astronomer Dr. Vincent was playing chess with his father at the village entrance. But his father was too chatty. Vincent checkmated him in one move and slipped away to his workshop. His subordinate immediately rushed in to report the situation, stating that signals worldwide were experiencing anomalies. Upon hearing this, Vincent began to investigate the problem. Meanwhile, a military officer informed the president that an unidentified object was approaching Earth. Panic had already broken out in some places. An old man was publicly claiming that aliens were attacking Earth and has now been arrested. They're experimenting on me. They've been studying us to find our weaknesses. Seeing this, the president and his team immediately sought countermeasures. Suddenly, his daughter ran in terrified, seeking comfort. The sky outside instantly darkened. Along with fiery clouds filling the sky, a giant spaceship appeared above the city. At the same time, Vincent also noticed the approaching spaceship. He hurried back to his workshop to tell everyone his theory, only to find that everyone had fled, leaving only a coward behind. He told his colleague that the aliens were about to attack. They needed to inform the president immediately. Everyone must evacuate as soon as possible. He then called his wife, who was the president's secretary. But after listening, his wife didn't take it seriously at all. He had no choice but to go see the president himself to explain. But he had failed his driver's test 8 times. He could only ask his father for help. Soon, his father drove him to the White House. Vincent called his wife again, telling her he was right at the White House gate. With his wife's help, he successfully met the president. Vincent stated that they needed to evacuate everyone immediately. But the president told him not to cause a panic. The aliens might just be here for tourism. Meanwhile, the public saw the spaceship and stopped what they were doing. After all, such a sight is a once-in-a-century event. But soon, the spaceship revealed its full form. It didn't look like it was here for a friendly visit. Fearing they would be abducted by aliens, they began to flee in all directions. The streets descended into chaos. At the same time, alien spaceships appeared in many parts of the world. One even stopped directly above the White House, a total sign of disrespect to the president. The president immediately held an emergency press conference to reassure the public not to panic. He then sent a helicopter to investigate the situation. The helicopter quickly approached a spaceship and sent an invitation to establish friendly relations. All the officials watched nervously, monitoring every move. The aliens, hearing the doorbell, opened the door to greet their guests. Seeing the large door open to welcome their friends, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The next second, 2 shots made their position clear. Seeing this, the officials immediately fled in an airplane, forgetting to notify the public. At this moment, people on the street were staring at each other blankly. Some even started shouting, asking the spaceship to take them to another planet. Alien fanatics holding welcome signs were ecstatic. However, their smiles didn't last long. The spaceship opened its bottom hatch, revealing a glowing alien device. Onlookers gathered to watch the advanced gadget. Then, the device began to charge up. People still thought it was something good. Suddenly, this blast completely woke up the public. The surroundings were instantly engulfed in flames. People finally understood what kind of friendly relations the aliens wanted. They were clearly trying to conquer Earth. The city instantly turned into a sea of fire. Meanwhile, alien spaceships in other regions received the signal and also began bombing their respective cities. Naturally, the White House was not spared. Wave after wave of bombing destroyed humanity's major cities. The terrified populace began to run wildly. A master, seeing his dog frozen in place, immediately shouted. Fortunately, the dog was agile and managed to survive. In an instant, the city's buildings were reduced to rubble. The next day, the surviving president was furious. The aliens were treating Earth like a pushover. He immediately assembled the military to prepare for a counterattack. A pilot on leave was recalled to duty. A counterattack team led by Xiao Hei set out. The fighter jets flew up to the alien spaceship and fired multiple missiles in succession, but they didn't even scratch it. The aliens had prepared in advance for their invasion of Earth, installing a super strong shield on their spaceship. The fighter pilots, seeing this, had to change direction. But one pilot's skills were too poor. He crashed directly into the shield, a pointless sacrifice. The next second, the aliens also dispatched multiple fighters. They would not tolerate being attacked on their own doorstep. The two sides engaged in a dogfight in the sky. However, Xiao Hei and his team's attacks caused no damage. The aliens had even equipped their fighters with shields. It was impossible to fight. It was a one-sided beating. The president immediately ordered a retreat. But the aliens didn't agree. They pursued the two remaining fighters, pounding them. In the end, only the squadron leader, Xiao Hei, was left unscathed, still trying to escape in the air. Meanwhile, the aliens, through signal reconnaissance, actually found the US Air Force Base. They sent their fighters and unleashed a barrage of attacks on the main base. The soldiers were caught off guard and could only flee quickly. At this time, Xiao Hei, using his familiarity with the terrain, successfully lured the alien fighter into a deep canyon. Xiao Hei skillfully maneuvered through it with superb piloting. He ejected his parachute at the last moment before hitting the cliff wall. The alien didn't have such cunning. It fell for the trick and crashed into pieces. Xiao Hei was extremely smug at this moment. Finally, the time for revenge had come. He dragged the still dazed alien out and punched it. After venting his anger, he laboriously dragged the alien captive towards the base. The alien probably hadn't bathed in 800 years. The smell was unbearable. Xiao Hei just turned away. The alien was too heavy. Fortunately, several transport trucks appeared ahead. He quickly hitched a ride. At the same time, the president and his officials arrived at the base. This was a specialized alien research facility set up by the US. Looking at the preserved alien specimen, the president asked the doctor if they could actually be killed. The president was happy to receive an affirmative answer. However, the doctor stated that the alien civilization was very advanced. If we really fought, we likely wouldn't win. The president looked dejected upon hearing this. They then continued their tour. The doctor showed them an alien spaceship from 50 years ago. But unfortunately, they hadn't been able to decipher anything from it. Just then, Xiao Hei arrived at the base, dragging the alien. The doctor, hearing about a new alien, immediately jogged over to greet it. Xiao Hei didn't linger. He immediately returned to the military base to ask about his teammates. He was devastated to hear that his entire squadron had been wiped out. The scene changes. The doctor, with great excitement, dissected the fresh alien. He carefully made an incision. Suddenly, fortunately, nothing unexpected happened. The doctor continued with a deeper dissection. After a long time, he finally found the head. But the alien's eyes suddenly opened and it attacked. It turned out it wasn't dead and had stimulated the doctor's brain. The doctor clutched his head, howling in pain. At this point, the alien had broken free from its restraints and stood up. It went on a killing spree. By the time the still touring president and officials arrived, the lab was filled with thick smoke, obscuring everything. The next second, the doctor appeared at the glass, calling for help. Someone was about to open the door but was stopped. It was clear that tentacles were wrapped around his neck. The alien had likely taken control of the doctor. Its deceptive trick was too shallow. After being seen through, it revealed itself. The president stepped forward, expressing a desire for peace. The alien heard this as if it heard nothing. It directly mind-controlled the president, making him scream and hold his head. An officer, seeing this, ordered his men to fire. They riddled the alien with bullets. Unsatisfied, they went up and fired a few more shots. The alien was finally truly dead. The president was now fine. He explained that through the psychic connection, he had figured out the alien's secrets. They are parasitic invaders, thriving on conquering and ruining other planets. They've done this many times before. They're true pirates. It's time to give them a taste of nuclear weapons. Afterward, he ordered a bomber to be loaded with a nuclear bomb to attack the alien ship. A successful hit on the target. The president quickly asked if the alien spaceship was destroyed. However, he received bad news that it was completely unharmed. Even after using nuclear weapons, there was still no damage. Everyone wore a grim expression, unsure how humanity would survive this crisis. At the same time, Vincent was completely drunk. Humanity faced such a crisis, yet he felt powerless. He kept smashing things to vent his frustration. His father arrived in time to calm him down. Vincent understood that he couldn't give up so easily. His father casually mentioned not to catch a cold. This gave Vincent an idea, and he instantly
They could
thought
use
of
a
virus to
solution.
invade the spaceship systems. He quickly woke everyone up. Even Xiao Hei received the notice and rushed to the base. They all gathered in front of the alien spaceship. Vincent placed a soda can on the ship and asked an officer to shoot at it. The first bullet was blocked by the shield. Everyone was confused. Why were they kept up all night just to watch this? Vincent told them to be patient and try another shot. Soon, the second bullet was fired. It sent the can flying. Everyone was stunned by what they saw. They immediately asked how he did it. Vincent explained that he used a virus to hack the alien ship, causing their shields to fail. Humanity could finally launch a counterattack. But there was a problem. The alien mothership's main base wasn't on Earth. He came up with a plan. If two people could fly the lab spaceship to dock with the mothership in outer space, they could successfully upload the virus. But the virus would likely only disable the shields for a short time. All other forces must seize the opportunity to attack immediately. Hearing this, everyone was energized and willing to try. The president immediately gathered all the nation's firepower and even joined the battle preparations himself. The best candidates to upload the virus were naturally Vincent and Xiao Hei. The two said goodbye to their wives and families and set off. Fortunately, the 50-year-old ship was still operational. The ship stumbled along. As it neared the mothership, it was pulled in. They entered the interior, amazed by everything inside. At this moment, the aliens had assembled a large force and seemed ready to attack. They soon reached the docking area. Xiao Hei was afraid the transparent glass would let the aliens see them. Vincent said the alien ship was incredibly advanced. It could play music and movies. He then activated night mode, successfully docking with the mothership and uploading the virus. Meanwhile, on the other side, the president had assembled a large number of fighter jets, ready for action. They then received the message that the virus had been successfully uploaded. It was all or nothing now. A fighter jet fired a shot at the spaceship. However, the missile still hit the shield. Seeing that the virus plan had failed, they prepared to retreat quickly before the aliens could counterattack. But one pilot was unwilling to give up. He went up and fired another shot. Everyone was on edge. Everyone instantly cheered and jumped for joy. They prepared to show the aliens what they were made of. A massive bombardment began. The aliens, seeing someone provoking them at their doorstep, quickly dispatched a fighter squadron to annihilate the enemy. However, without their shields, the aliens could be hurt too. They decided to use their ultimate weapon to eliminate the enemy. Humans tried to stop the aliens from using their ultimate weapon, but their aim was off, and the shot missed. Even worse news, they were out of ammo. At this moment, a pilot requested covering fire, saying he had one missile left. If nothing goes wrong, something is about to go wrong. At the critical moment, the missile launcher jammed. He looked at a photo of his family preparing for a heroic sacrifice. In the nick of time. The alien ship's super weapon was stopped in its tracks. It exploded into smithereens. Subsequently, the solution became known around the world. All alien spaceships were successfully eliminated. At this point, Xiao Hei and Vincent were preparing to return to Earth. But an accident occurred. The aliens realized something was wrong and completely surrounded the two of them. To make matters worse, their ship was stuck and couldn't move. and a nuclear bomb had started its countdown to detonation. The two then discussed sacrificing themselves along with the aliens. First, they gave the aliens a friendly wave, then fired a missile that pierced the hull. The ship was thrown clear by the shockwave of the explosion. Xiao Hei, seeing this, immediately flew the ship to escape. The main gate was about to close. In the last 0.25 seconds, the two escaped death by a hair's breadth. But the aliens weren't so lucky. The nuclear bomb inside the mothership exploded. The aliens' headquarters and branches were blown to bits. Humanity had finally defeated the aliens. The president, having returned safely, enjoyed the people's adoration. Soon, the heroes Xiao Hei and Vincent returned victoriously, resuming their wonderful lives with their wives and children. Everyone looked up at the sky. Debris from the alien mothership streaked across the atmosphere, falling like a colorful meteor shower, celebrating Earth's Independence Day. The film ends here. This is an old film from over 20 years ago. The plot was quite novel for its time, but it seems a bit cliché now. Aliens with nothing better to do are always attacking Earth. Their minds are clearly not very sharp, yet somehow their technology is more advanced than humanity's. Perhaps they only know how to wage war and not deception. Their final fate is naturally to be defeated time and again. Will Smith starred as the protagonist in this movie. His performance in the film can only be described as adequate. But in many of his later films, he won numerous awards and an Oscar for Best Actor. Among them, I Am Legend is the most outstanding. Well, that's all for today's commentary. If you liked my commentary, please subscribe to my channel. Your support is my greatest encouragement.